All right, so Prime Days is in about a week, and I wanted to talk a little bit about what you should expect as an Amazon influencer whenever it comes to Prime Days. I've actually learned a little bit of something this year that I didn't grasp in the prior years about Prime Days. Actually, some specific numbers that I wanted to share with you guys. It's going to kind of help paint a picture of what's going to happen here, or at least maybe understand like how to put together a game plan of what to do whenever Prime Days comes up. So I wanted to talk about that here because I know a lot of people are eyeballing Prime Days as far as like, man, we're gonna be making some big time money on that. I want to talk about what you should actually expect as an Amazon influencer when Prime Days comes up. If you don't know, my name is Rob, and I've been in the influencer program for a couple years. I'm just here sharing my tips, tricks, and advice. These are things I've learned along the way, both good and bad, to hopefully help you make more money in the Amazon influencer program. So if that sounds good to you, like it's in your wheelhouse, please consider hitting the subscribe button. If you get halfway through this video and you find that it might be actually helpful in some way, then consider hitting the like button too. I do like likes. I do think I am indeed your Amazon influencer guy. You know, Amazon pushes Prime Days so much. Whenever you are an Amazon influencer, you're constantly seeing them promoting it. And I think it can give this sense of like, man, things are going to pop. Like, I'm really going to be making some really good commissions or expecting to see the prime pump, you know, whenever it comes to those few days. And if you've been around for a little bit, you can already attest to this, that it just doesn't really happen for those at least that are focusing on site videos, like shoppable videos. You would never really see that pump, and it's always been a little bit confusing. Like, well, why is that the case? And I really haven't seen anybody talk much about why are we not making increased commissions. And I think there's a piece of data that I wanted to share with you that might actually explain this. So, you know, Amazon lets you download the Prime list, right? I think now they might have put it behind like you have to be maybe like a platinum or bronze level. I don't remember what it is, but like right now I can, like, and a bunch of people can download the list. Whenever you download that list, there's 350,000, just over that, 350,000 rows of products, individual and unique IDs, Amazon ASINs, that are coming up for Prime Days. But over 50% of those IDs are actually variation IDs of other products, right? So in other words, you have one product here and it's red, one product here and it's blue. Once you remove all those variations, you're left with less than 50% of that list. Only like 150, actually it's less than that. There was 156 variations this year out of 300,000. So yeah, it was like 55% of the total list were product variations, which leaves you with less than 150,000 basically product listings, right? And so I think that's one of the things that I think we've missed in years past is we kind of look at Amazon and we assume because they're pumping everything on Prime Days. If you go to Amazon.com on Prime Days, everything's Prime Days in the front, all the deals, all the lightning deals, all the limited time out. And it kind of gives you the sense that the whole site's going bonkers, when in reality, it's really right now only about 150,000 total products that are on sale. And so if you do not happen to be making videos for those particular products, which is a very small percentage of Amazon's overall product inventory, then you're not going to see that pump. And I think that's the primary reason why people have not seen that in the past. Well, you make your videos and you just assume, well, if Amazon's on fire, I'm going to catch a little bit of that fire. Reality is Amazon's not on fire during Prime Days. They're pushing it like it is, but it's a very, very small percentage of their overall product inventory. So that's the first thing, is the numbers really are not on your side as an Amazon influencer. So you should not be expecting the prime pump simply based off of that. The other thing is, whenever you're an Amazon influencer and you're focusing on on-site shoppable videos, whenever it comes to Prime Days, you're in a very reactionary position, which means basically you've already done the work. You're hoping that the Prime Days lists hits some of your products. You're not really doing anything to connect those dots or to draw a line between Prime Days and your products. You're just like, well, I hope it does. You know, I hope there's some products that are for sale that I've done videos for. So it's very much reactionary. Whereas if you're somebody that focuses on offsite or does any offsite promotions, Prime Days really suits you much better than it does for the people that are onsite. Because when you're offsite, you can be very proactive. You can sort of see the list of things that are for sale. You can push those things out to your following on social or your whatever it is that you end up kind of doing. And so offsite really tends to benefit more from Prime Days because they get the list and then they can put that plan together based on that list and go, okay, here's the products that I like and here is what I'm going to push out to my following whenever Prime Days actually hits. Where again, you as an Amazon influencer doing on-site videos primarily, your stuff's already kind of done and you're just hoping that whatever's on that list maybe pings a few of your videos. So that's the second reason that you should really keep your expectations of the Prime Pump hitting you really low, because you're really not doing anything to cause any sort of additional sales. You're just hoping that some of the stuff on the list hits some of the stuff you've already made videos for. And as we discussed with those numbers, typically not going to be a high percentage of products. The other thing that I wanted to mention is, out of 150,000 unique IDs that I checked, I cross-referenced. I actually just dropped something in the extension yesterday, just kind of a limited time feature that will match any of the deals to any of the products that you have currently tagged on your storefront. And for me, who I have over, it's like 2,900 unique IDs in my storefront, only like 110 of them ended up being on that list. There's a very, very small overall percentage. And the other people that are running that tool, it's a very, very small percentage. And so that's the other thing is, even if you have a lot of videos, it's going to be a low percentage of your products that actually match that. Again, only about 110 of mine, or 110 out of almost 3,000 unique IDs on my storefront. So that's the other thing that's not really working in your defense. But let's talk about something else, though, and let's move on from that. We know that the odds are not necessarily in our favor. What should we be doing? If you concentrate on site specifically, what should you be doing to prepare for Prime Days? Well, one of the things that I did is with that feature that I just released, I went through any of my products and I looked for opportunities in the upper carousel, and I looked for opportunities. Like, I made a couple of duplicate videos. I just like a second video for some of those products. Some of them, because I wasn't appearing in the carousel currently, I just updated a thumbnail, I updated a title, just hopefully trying to get a quick refresh and maybe I'll get some exposure for that. I'm not really doing a lot, to be honest. Once I had that list in front of me, I worked that list and made the adjustments that I could. Some of them I couldn't make any adjustments because I was already in the upper carousel, and if I'm already in the upper carousel, I am happy with that. I'm not making another video. I'm not changing the content. I'm not doing anything. If I wasn't in the upper carousel, but it was totally full with other influencers, that's where I would edit the thumbnail or I'd edit the title, trying to maybe bump somebody else out of that position. And that was pretty much about all that I was doing, because again, you're in a reactionary position in this particular case. So that's really the only game plan that I would say at this point. Now, secondarily to that, I did take that list that Amazon gives us and I cross-referenced it with Creator Connections, and I found 10 products. I'm going to make a video for this in a couple of weeks. I found 10 products that were Creator Connections and had low video saturation that I went ahead and purchased for the sake of investing, hoping to make some money. And I'm hoping to make half my money back on at least those during Prime Days. If I can make half my money back within a couple of days, that'd be great. So I'll make another video and talk about what those products were. And see if it actually pans out in my favor. I'm hoping with the Creator Connections thing, there's a couple of 30% commissions on there on some of those products. I'm really excited about that. But besides that, I mean, going through your list, trying to cross-reference stuff, if you're focusing on on-site, don't get all excited about it. You're just going to end up probably being disappointed unless something just happens to hit, and that just doesn't happen very often. So that's kind of all I wanted to say about Prime. Keep your expectations low on what's going to happen. Just kind of treat it right now like any other day. If you have the Oink extension for Amazon influencers, use that Prime Day feature. It's going to be limited time. I'm going to pull it after Prime Days is over, and then at least you'll know how many videos on your storefront have products that are on the Prime Days list, so you can make any sort of adjustments to those that you want. I'll put a link in the extension or in the description down below if you're watching this on YouTube, so you can go download it for free over on Google. And it is one of the features that is actually for free for everybody to use within the extension. So that's it. I hope that you guys do end up striking some gold and end up making some extra dough this weekend. But if you don't, it's not a big deal. It's no indication of like your storefront or your ability or anything like that. You're still awesome anyways. It's just the way that Prime Days tends to go for Amazon influencers that focus on-site videos. So now, if this was helpful, maybe consider hitting the like button and certainly the subscribe so you'll be in the know whenever more videos about the Amazon Influencer Program are coming out. Let me know after Prime Days is over, everybody. Really excited to hear it here on YouTube and over on our Facebook group as well. I want to hear some success stories, hopefully. And this is the first Prime Days where I can remember where I think Creator Connections has really been exploding. So it's be interesting to see sort of the impact of the expansion of Creator Connections in relation to another Prime Days and kind of see what happens for our commissions. So let's hope that they pop. As always, we will see you on the next video. Peace out. Boom.